Welcome back, my curious people. The eyes of the whole world are focused on the royal children, mainly the children of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, as they are the ones who are most likely to get a chance to sit on the royal throne. Why does everyone seem to love George so much? How are their childhoods? And will Louis ever get a chance to sit on the throne, or will he get a chance to live a much calmer life? And why, despite being brothers, have their lives already been set to be so much different from each other? So why don't you turn on the notifications and subscribe to our channel and stay with me to find out more. Whilst Meghan and Prince Harry have stepped aside from their royal duties to focus on their family as they want to live a private life and keep Archie away from the attention of the media, and declining for their son to have a royal title, their nephews and niece have always been thrown into the spotlight. Well, maybe with the exception of Prince Louis. Is it because he's not going to fulfill an important role in the family? Even Princess Charlotte, who made monarch history, if you want to know more about it, please check it out in this video. And to be able to show you the difference between the fated lives of the princes, we need to introduce you to them first. Prince George was born on July 22nd of 2013, and just as everyone expected, there were crowds of well-wishers and media alike waiting outside St. Mary's Hospital for a chance to catch a glimpse of the newest member of the royal family, and who will one day inherit the throne. For the first time in royal history, a birth was accompanied by souvenirs from the royal mints in Great Britain, Australia, and Canada. And the bells of Westminster Abbey and many other churches across the country rang to announce the good news of the birth of their new heir to the throne. Soon after, the boy was baptized with water that came from the Jordan River by the Archbishop of Canterbury in the Royal Chapel of St. James's Palace. And interestingly enough, for the first time in 119 years, 4 generations of successors of the royal family are alive simultaneously. In fact, it's not strange to imagine that there could be alive 5 generations at the same time, as long as Queen Elizabeth will still enjoy such iron health as she will and has up until now. At the age of only 9 months, little George started to fulfill his first royal duties and accompanied his parents on an official trip to Australia. George appeared there in front of the cameras only twice, but still he attracted everyone's attention. To see how cute he was as just a baby, just watch this video from the visit to the zoo. Later, his parents, seeing how much their son attracted the attention of the media and people, declared that they want to keep his privacy for as long as possible to ensure a normal life for him. What's funny, of course, is that he is the heir to the throne, who lives in luxury and whose every single step and action is closely watched by the media of the world. And so, in accordance with the wishes of the parents, in August of 2015, Kensington Palace announced that they wanted the media to stay away from George because paparazzi were crossing the border doing everything they could to take pictures of him. It's crazy how from such a small age he has to not only follow all the royal protocols, and he's also hounded by the paparazzi. In January of 2016, the boy began attending Westacre Montessori School, which is very close to the Norfolk Palace. Consequently, home sales in that area soared as many people wanted to live near their young heir. In April of the same year, the little prince met the then President of the United States, Barack Obama, and George welcomed him in charming bathrobe. Obama later joked on social network sites, writing that Prince George came to the meeting in a bathrobe, which is a violation of diplomatic protocol. The clothes the child was wearing caused the so-called Prince George effect, as the bathrobe sales increased by 750%. In 2015, when George was only 2 years old, he was the 49th on the list of Britain's 50 best-dressed men. He is said to be the person who looks good in everything, no matter what material the outfit is made of. But isn't that true for all children? A year later, the boy began attending Thomas Battersea's private elementary school, which is just 20 minutes from Kensington Palace, where he lives with his parents and siblings. The cost of education at this school is $23,000 per year, and it can be ironically said that George's parents do everything to ensure that their child leads a completely normal life. After all, anyone can afford a private school for which you pay almost $2,000 a month, right? There, the young man learns dance, theater, or maths even. Of course, we hope that for such money, he will grow into a talented person like Leonardo da Vinci or maybe even Mozart. In a video published on YouTube, we can see Prince George getting out of the car with his father during the first day of school. He looks calm and obviously wears shorts as usual. This is due to strict rules that say that he will not be able to wear long pants until he's 8 years old. Although this rule was broken for the wedding of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Also, recent news broke out that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are deciding whether to send George to a boarding school, which is common for royals at that age. The prince, like every other boy, loves cars, trucks, planes, and helicopters. In December of 2017, George asked Santa Claus for a police car, and we also learn that his favorite movie is The Lion King. No wonder, after all, the hero of the film is a prince who becomes the king. Most recently, Prince George was in the media after the official Instagram account of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge shared a photo of the boy to commemorate his 7th birthday. What's surprising is that the photo made headlines after a lot of people began pointing out the gap between his teeth. Is every little single aspect of the prince's life so important and worth commenting on? In case some of you might not be up to date with the succession of the British throne, let me remind you, Prince Charles is next in line, but whether he will ever get a chance to rule is yet to be seen. After Charles, his son William, the Duke of Cambridge, is next in line, and after William, we come to see his son George, who is third. But what about George's younger brother Louis? Will he ever have a chance to sit on the throne? Well, stay with me to find out more. So Louis of Cambridge, or actually Louis Arthur Charles, was born on April 23rd of 2018 in London. He celebrates his birthday 2 days after his great-grandmother Queen Elizabeth II, and it is thanks to her decree of December 31st of 2012 that he has the right to use the title of His Royal Highness. And even back then, after having only been born for a few hours, he aroused considerable interest because Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge, was looking stunningly good as she showed up on the famous steps of the hospital only 7 hours after giving birth. The boy was most likely named after Lord Louis Mountbatten, uncle of Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II. He was an admiral of the British Navy, commander of the British Naval Forces, and the first Governor-General of the independent India. Thanks to him, during the King George VI's visit to the Royal Maritime College at Dartmouth in 1939, Elizabeth met her future husband, and Prince Charles calls him his honorary grandfather. The third child of the royal couple to take the throne is extremely rare and has never before happened in the Windsor family, and being fifth in line to the throne, it can be assumed that little Louis will have a calmer life than his older siblings. It is true that you can already see that he's an exuberant toddler, so who knows how he will still make the front pages of the newspapers. Hopefully it won't be anything too shocking like his Uncle Harry did back in the days of his youth. But in his case, the parents care about the privacy and image of the child. The toddler's first photo shoot was done by the Duchess of Cambridge and was shown in May, almost 2 weeks after the baby was born. In one of the photos, he's accompanied by his older sister who kisses him tenderly on the forehead. The baptism of the prince took place in the same month, so we could see him in the official photos. And it's also worth pointing out that the Queen did not attend Louis's baptism, while she did with George and Charlotte. Later, the boy appeared in the pictures on the occasion of Prince Charles's 70th birthday. The shoot was very liked not only by the British because it shows the joyful, free face of the royals, and in one of the photos, the grandfather warmingly hugs his youngest grandson. Then, during the Christmas period, the royal family published a holiday postcard in which Kate and William are with their children, including 8-month-old Louis. After that, however, any news on Prince Louis's front stopped, while his older brother, today 7-year-old George, and 5-year-old sister Charlotte regularly accompanied their parents to formal celebrations. Little Louis was absent. British gossip media began to suspect that the boy was sick, and that is why his parents were hiding him. Others, however, decided that these were deliberate actions, because as you could read on various websites, Kate and William said several times that they want to keep their children's privacy. Anyway, the little prince will have less media coverage than his siblings. Of course, in the future with Louis, as it was with Charles's own brother, Prince Andrew of York, it will be required of him to fulfill court duties, such as unveiling plaques or visiting regional institutions, but these will not be events of greater caliber or events where he could appear with his siblings. Not to mention that his fortune will be modest compared to the heir to the throne. Of course he will not be poor, but will depend on the resources allocated to him simply to pay for stuff, like clothes and life in general. Would you have liked to not work for anything in your life and have it all handed to you as the royal family does? Or do you think it would get boring after a while? But let's get back to the present. Fortunately, on the occasion of Louis's first birthday, the royal family shared more photos of the toddler. The author, as in many other cases, was Princess Kate again, and it was evident that the boy was fine. Besides, he immediately became a fashion icon, like George and Charlotte. The doggy sweater he was wearing then sold out on the same day the photos were published. In addition to that, in June last year, Prince Louis also made his debut on the royal balcony during Trooping the Color, the official celebration of the birthday of Elizabeth II. And although Meghan Markle also took part in the grand ceremony and even interrupted her maternity leave, especially for Elizabeth II, the youngest child of Kate and William stole the entire show. During the demonstration of the Air Force, the boy charmed the crowds with his combat face, and a moment then briskly waved from the famous balcony, and it is clear that no one could resist his charms. Since then, we've seen the little prince even more often, either having fun with the whole family in Kate's Back to the Nature Garden, or at the polo game with Prince Harry and William. Louis appears to be full of energy, a resolute little boy who's getting harder and harder to follow, and as the media exclaimed, he's strikingly similar to his mother. It was then that the princess's photos from when she was a child came out and were compared to her son's baby photos. Recently, the Duchess of Cambridge commented how the little prince finds it difficult to keep social distance as he wants to cuddle everything, especially babies younger than him, and the royal family official Instagram account also shares photo of Prince William to celebrate his birthday as well as Father's Day. So, looking at the supposed planned life for both princes, are their lives so similar to that of their father and their uncle, or their grandfather and his brother? It is nothing new that while Prince Charles and Prince William had to always be more proper and more well-behaved than their siblings as they were expected to take over the throne. Is this going to be the same scenario for George and Louis? So, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you tomorrow.